Okay, from a teacher's point of view, how do you see the benefits of the Abbey Road tour for the students?
So for our students, I think that the Abbey Road tour gave the students a better understanding of brain injury, acquired brain injury, and also to not judge a book by its cover, that they don't always understand a person's story when they see someone in the street. Actually, I also think it gives them a good chance to interact with someone with a brain injury, because it perhaps isn't something that they come across every day. So it gives them an opportunity to have an interaction with someone with an acquired brain injury.
And so in respect to, I guess, the educational side of the thing and how it benefits students in their growth, I guess.
Yeah, so there's a few ways that I think that it was beneficial for students. I think one of the things that came across was maybe to rethink your risky behaviour before you go out and do something silly, that perhaps just stop and consider the potential lifelong consequences of doing something like that, which a couple of the Abbey Road presenters told the kids about their own stories with that exact type of lifelong consequence. I think it also got the kids thinking about overcoming their challenges in life. So, some of us have small challenges and some of us have huge challenges, and the Abbey Road presenters were perfect examples of people who have worked through their challenges in life and still living fulfilling and happy lives.
Wow. That's even better than the other day. But, and it's true, and I know I did, and I just asked Keely the same question, and one statement that was sort of used mostly throughout the thing, which you have just spoken about there, but it sort of personifies, and what would that be? Yeah,
so one of the statements that the students took away from the presenters was the idea of never say never. So, it's never the end, it's always something you can work from. Never say never.
Wow. I think Bourbon never expected that to become some sort of
a catchphrase.
but it has, in a lot of ways. It's something that people, and he sometimes forgets to say it, so I always have to say to him, now Bourbon, what you're saying?
What's he saying?
But he knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say it, because he's probably overcome more than anybody else.
Absolutely.
So I guess as a last thing, because the majority of people that are going to see this project, this DVD, are teachers.
Yep.
So if you could just sort of say something to other teachers that, try this, it really is beneficial, or whatever the sales pitch. But it is like, I'm trying to get into more schools, and that's why I'm doing it. So.
Well, I think that the Abbey Road presentation is really important for schools, because it talks about risky behaviour for teenagers, accepting people as they are. One of the things that I noticed most was that it was one of the presentations all year where our students were completely engaged and completely listening, and I've never seen them probably listen so intently to a bunch of speakers.
I'm just going to ask you about the Abbey Road tour, and I guess how you felt about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was really good to be able to show people the inside version of it instead of just them being able to read about it, because I think it's more personal and I think you learn a lot more about it.
So do you think from your own point of view that you learned about acquired brain injury?
Yeah, I think I did learn about it. I think I came in knowing nothing about it, and I think, except for just concussions and stuff like that. But I think it was really good that there was multiple people and they all had shared their own personal stories, because I think that if you're reading about it and online and stuff like that, it depersonalizes it and you kind of don't feel the same way about it. You feel less empathetic towards it. Whereas if you're hearing someone's story firsthand, then you it's a lot more personal, and you realise how much damage it can do and like everything like that.
Wow, I never thought of it like that, but I guess, and I've always believed that the whole power of the whole presentation is in the fact that it's real people
Yeah,
with real ABIs that are talking to people.
yeah, definitely.
And so part of the process was to try and raise awareness.
Mhm.
And so do you feel that it achieved that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that I think a lot of people going into it didn't know anything about it, and again, like everyone having their own stories, having everyone, I think you take it away as well a lot better, and you remember it a lot more. So you'll go actually tell people about it, and like it's a lot more fresh in your mind, where you will want to tell people and like share their stories with people because you feel deeply about it, because that's what you've heard about it.
If there was, I asked Tash this the other day, and it was funny how she remembered. If there was one expression out of that presentation that you remember in your brain, what would it be?
Yeah, one thing I took away from it was definitely never say never. He said that a lot, about that even in the worst circumstances, and even if no matter what you're faced with, if you never say never, you can overcome what they say you can't. And I think that was really important, and I think that gave me a lot of encouragement. And yeah, and then I definitely learnt to not judge a book by its cover. Like, I didn't know anything about how ABIs can come off as you're drunk and stuff like that. That really was like a wake-up call, because I think a lot of people, if they see someone down the street and stuff like that, they're going to assume, oh, like they've mucked up their life and stuff like that. I think people are really like quick to assume things about people without knowing the full story, and I think that knowing about ABIs, then you kind of go, oh, well, these people that I'm seeing, I don't know the full story, and I don't know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know their past, I don't know what has happened in their life, and could have gone through the biggest things, and you can't just judge them on the first hand glance.
Hi, I'm Nick Granger. I work as part of the wellbeing team at Doxa School in Bendigo. I've been on and off in this role for about 15 years or so. Had lots of involvement with the Abbey Road Tour in that time. I wanted to share some of my thoughts and understandings about some of the benefits of the program they run. We've loved having them in. They've helped to build a whole lot of empathy for us and for our students about their experiences and what those experiences have meant for them in their lives. What we've valued most about their visits has been their preparedness to share the impacts of their various experiences and the various impacts of the way that people perceive them and how that's played out for them in life. We've found them really approachable, we've found them very honest, and we've found them genuine. And we've found that helps to connect real meaning for our students and for our staff as well. Personally, I found it to be a really enriching experience, and one that I've walked away from full of hope and inspiration, but full of real meaning for what actually takes place in the real world. One of the things we've really valued about the Abbey Road Tour is how they've been able to engage and build understanding for our student group. Our students come with a range of background experiences, and to be able to present information to them in a caring way that builds empathy for them, but also is able to keep them really safe as part of the content, has been critical to the success of the tour. We'd really encourage everyone to consider having Abbey Road Tour as part of their school experiences. We've really valued having them on site when they've been able to come in, and we look forward to being able to continue our partnership with them as long as we can.
Hi, my name's Peter Burns, and I'm a teacher at Bendigo Senior Secondary College, where I'm teaching the VCAL program. For the last 8-9 years, we've had the Abbey Road Tour come and talk to our students in regards to the impacts of an acquired brain injury. As a teacher, this has been a really important and productive program, where it's giving real life experiences to our 17, 18-year-old students. And this is particularly important to the young males that we have, where we know young males tend to take more risks that have more severe consequences in their lives, particularly under the 25-year-old. So having some of these people that have acquired a brain injury in their lives, particularly when it's been no fault of their own, is a really important message for our students. And what we have found over the last 8 or 9 years, even though VCAL students tend to be a little bit more challenging, tend to be a little bit more vocal, they do sit there and they will listen to the stories of these of the people that have the acquired brain injury, the people that are involved in the Abbey Road Tour program. In particular, I can think of one guy. He was in the Navy. He obviously had an intention of having a career in the Navy. He was obviously very technically savvy, where he was top of the class in electronics and radar equipment, and now he struggles to use a mobile phone, and he can't even do an email message. And that's a really strong message to our young people, that if you do take risks without thinking about it, these can happen to you. And as a teacher, it is great that somebody else is giving this message, because we do talk about looking after your mates and the importance of road safety and don't drink and drive and all those solid messages, but to have it from somebody that's actually been impacted is really, really significant. And when after the story has been told, the next class will sit down with these students and we'll revisit what has been told. We'll give them a task, they will ask questions, and I believe they actually listen to these stories. So we, as a teacher at Bendigo Senior, we could not support this program any more than we do. So thank you.